Hey everyone, for those of you who don't know, my name is Matthew Baker and I'm a professional counsellor, and in this video I'm going to tell you the most important thing you need to know about perfectionism. This really is very important to know, and it can save you so much pain and struggle if you know what I'm about to tell you. So let's get straight into it. So the most important thing you need to know about perfectionism is that you're running a race with no end destination. You may think there's a destination, like once I reach this point, I'll have arrived and everything will be good, but the destination does not exist. So let me get into this a little bit deeper. So what someone with perfectionism is fundamentally seeking with any goal they put their mind to, whether that's 100% on a test, whether it's acing this job interview and getting the actual job, whatever it is, or having like the house completely spotless clean, no matter what it is, what you are fundamentally seeking is fulfillment in some way, shape or form. And you think that once you get to this destination, once you get that 100%, whatever it is, you think once you get that, you will be fulfilled, happy, content with things, when in reality it isn't there. The destination doesn't exist. You'll have a few moments of satisfaction if you get there, and in some cases you don't get there because you have this impossible standard which doesn't actually exist. But if you get to your goal and you think you'll be fulfilled there, it doesn't work like that. You'll have a few moments of satisfaction, but you'll just move on to the next thing and think that you will get it at the next one as well. Your mind will come up with some other thing that, hey, once I reach the next destination, you'll feel complete, you'll feel fulfilled. But it just keeps going and going and going, and it never ends if you keep seeking fulfillment externally at some destination like you do with perfectionism. And that's why you're running a race which does not have an end destination. And what happens with this process is that you're running a race which leads to exhaustion. You will have a breakdown if you continue on this cycle long enough. Because if you're in a race, you're going to sprint to the finish line, and especially if you have perfectionism, you're going to crawl there, you're going to do everything you can to get there in the most effective, best, fastest way you can. But you're just going to move the target on to the next thing. The next thing will lead to fulfillment. So you're going to pick yourself up exhausted and move on to the next one, then you're gonna get there. And eventually it leads to a breakdown. You're really gonna chop yourself down and really just get to a place of total exhaustion. And that's why people with perfectionism can get depression. They have low self-esteem because they never actually arrive at the destination. There are so many negative consequences of having perfectionism. And again, this cycle does not end well. You lead to exhaustion and you don't actually arrive at your destination. And going into a little bit more depth on someone who has this impossible standard, so I have to get 100% on every single test that I have. If you don't reach that mark, then you're going to have all this really negative self-talk. So this is the other big thing. There's exhaustion, so the person who keeps making the next destination. Then there's a person who doesn't reach this impossible standard which they set. And what happens from that? They have really negative self-talk. So you think, I'm a loser. I can't believe I failed again. This is the worst thing ever. And this may happen if you get 99% out of 100% on every test that you have. This is an impossible standard which you may not be able to reach. And if you get there a little bit short, no matter what it is, whether it's 1%, 99%, or 50% out of 100, you're going to feel shocking about yourself. And that's as well why this can lead to depression and other mental health issues, because either way, whether you reach or not, you're going to get to either exhaustion or you're going to feel horrible about yourself, and you may even feel horrible about yourself and have depression and all those negative side effects of perfectionism, no matter which race or wherever you are on this spectrum. So again, the most important thing you need to know about perfectionism is that what you're fundamentally actually seeking is fulfillment, and you cannot actually reach this state externally. You cannot actually reach this point which you want to get to through trying to be the best at everything, through external activities and goals and destinations. How you actually get fulfillment is from within. You have to give yourself permission to feel fulfilled independently of these things happening. And the thing with perfectionism is that the common belief for those who have perfectionism is that if I don't have this impossible standard, then I'm going to fall short. I'm not going to reach that level of excellence. But it's actually quite the opposite. If you switch from I have to get to this destination to I want to, and if you get fulfillment off the table, so fulfillment can actually be leverage for going insanely hard on a task or action which you want to do really well in. If you get fulfillment off the table, you'll actually be happy internally. You'll have permission to feel happy within yourself. And out of that place, you will still want to excel and do amazingly well. The difference is that you don't feel exhausted and you actually have a higher likelihood of getting there because you're running in a vehicle which is much more positively fueled, and you'll be able to last a distance, and you'll be more content in general. And that way you'll still be able to reach your destination, if not much better and much quicker than if you have that perfectionism style, which is a feeling of incompleteness. And it's the incompleteness and having fulfillment at the end of the destination, which is the hunger which drives that race which you're running. But again, people with perfectionism think that if they don't have that, they won't get there, but that's not true. So thanks a lot for watching this video. I really hope you found it helpful. Again, the main point, the most important thing to know with perfectionism is that you're running a race with no end destination. What you should do, a much better thing to do, is run a race which is driven by fulfillment and happiness, and you're going to be a lot better along the whole sort of process, as opposed to this perfectionism one, which is where you lead to breakdowns, meltdowns, not arriving at the destination, being critical on yourself, using that as your fuel in this negative cycle to go again and go harder. And ultimately, this is what leads to the mental health issues, as opposed to the race, which is fueled by fulfillment. So thanks again for watching this video, and I'll be sure to see you in the next one.